This is episode number 109 of the Life, Strength, and Health podcast. Kim here. Thank you for joining me this week. If you haven't had a chance to listen to last week's episode, which was episode 108, and in that podcast, we discussed the dangers of high blood pressure and we discussed gluten-free flours. So to access that episode, just go to lifestrengthandhealth.com/108. This week's testimonial was shared from Andrea, and this is what Andrea shared.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I have been going to Life, Strength, and Health for the past 2 months now. I've been struggling with serious sugar cravings. Since being guided by Jamal and Kim, I have seen amazing results, such as I no longer am craving sugar, sweets, or junk food, and no longer do I feel bloated or fatigued. Part of my plan is weekly colonics and nutritional guidance. Through this journey, I give all thanks to Jamal and Kim, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I feel 100% better than 2 months ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, for those kind words, and we wish you much health success. This week's Organic Food for Thought, we're going to be discussing MSG. And MSG is also known as monosodium glutamate, and it's a common ingredient and food additive used to boost the flavor of processed, canned, and frozen foods. MSG seasoning is derived from glutamic acid, a type of protein that is abundant in many types of food, including fruits and vegetables. It's produced through a fermentation process and brings a savory taste to dishes. Some studies have linked MSG to weight gain, high blood pressure, asthma attacks, metabolic syndrome, and short-term side effects in those who are sensitive. It's also found mostly in unhealthy processed foods that should be kept to a minimum on a healthy diet. Some of the most common sources of MSG include processed foods, salty snacks, seasonings, and convenience items. To reduce your intake of MSG, fill your diet with nutrient-rich whole foods and practice label reading to ensure MSG isn't found in your favorite ingredients. And MSG is in a lot of the things that seem a lot of processed foods that are addictive, like you just can't have one. You know, you start to eat like one chip and you eat the whole bag. There's an episode we interviewed. His name is slipping my mind. I'm going to put it in the show notes page, but the title of the episode was The Dorito Effect. And it just talked about flavorings and foods and MSG and how, you know, you eat, you know, one chip and you can't stop and then you still never satiated. MSG does that a lot. So in order to, well, definitely you want to read your labels to avoid MSG. And if a lot of the products that you do have it, swap it out for something healthier. And then eating more whole foods would kind of eliminate the consumption of MSG. Anything in a package, you know, you have to be leery of, even though it's convenient and there's a lot of healthy options out there. But unfortunately, a lot of these companies are flipping in this MSG for flavoring because that's what tricks your brain to think it's eating, you know, something. And then you can't stop eating it. You know, it's like you're always hungry, and that, you know, leads to excessive calorie consumption, and weight gain. And like I said, a host of other health challenges if you're sensitive to MSG, which in my opinion, most people are. I don't think it's good for anyone. Okay, so now let's dive into this week's episode. And this week's episode is on avoiding health sabotage. Now, this episode is on mindset, which outside of, you know, the how-tos, nutrition, lifestyle, which are so important to, you know, reaching your health goals, the mindset is like that missing underlying ingredient. It's like the soil, you know, for what you're planting within yourself to reach your health goals. Because if your mindset isn't right, it's going to lead to self-sabotage, you know? So when you get your mindset right, it's going to help you to sustain your health results. And it doesn't really get enough attention. The mindset, the thoughts that go on your mind, how you approach your health journey is so very important. You know, over our many years in the health industry with our wellness center, Life, Strength, and Health. We have gratitude to help people reach their health goals, to assist them, because you're doing the work. We're just a guide on the side, providing the education, the knowledge, giving you clarity, maybe helping you with direction in terms of what you need to do to reach your health goals. But ultimately, you have to do the work. And we've seen so many people reach their health goals. And then there's the other side of it, where we've seen people reach their health goals only to fall off and revert back to where they started. We've seen so many people get started on their health journey only to take a few steps and never really build momentum and then give up. And we've seen so many people think their way out of success, kind of like you're too smart for your own good. And we've all been there, where you overthink it and you complicate it so much so that you become overwhelmed and you just give up. So we wanted to address this. We wanted to discuss ways to help you to avoid health sabotage so that you can achieve your health goals. You can avoid that yo-yo effect of starting on your health journey, falling off, starting again, and so that you can sustain living healthy as a lifestyle. Okay. So the first tip on helping you to avoid health sabotage is to realize that you never really arrive, right? That's why they call it a health journey. And a lot of times we've seen people over the years where you're killing it. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're seeing the results and you kind of let your foot up off the gas. You get comfortable and you think, I got it, but life happens. There's no area of our life where things don't change. There's no constant, right? In terms of set it and forget it. That's just life. That's reality. So if you go in with the mindset of, you never really arrive, that I'm taking it a day at a time, I'm going to implement the things that I know is beneficial for me, and avoid those things that aren't, and you stay the course and you stay in tune with your body, you have a higher chance of not falling off, or you're more in tune with your body. So if you do start to fall off track a little bit, you can course correct and get back into alignment. Okay. Like I said, nothing stays the same forever. And I think if you get that in your mind, so when you do hit those road bumps, instead of beating yourself up, you think more about a solution. You think about a solution. Okay, let me connect with my health practitioner or this person or that person to help me get back on track. Let me, meet with my trainer if I need a little bit more supervision or accountability. Let me meet with my naturopath or my functional doctor or whatever, my acupuncturist, what have you. You do those things to keep you in alignment. Okay. And remember to celebrate your success. You don't want to just keep your head down and keep going. Celebrate your success. And success could just be whether it's your numbers from your blood work, you were consistent with eating breakfast or getting your sleep. Really celebrate your success and really celebrate how you feel, how the improvements of how it's affecting your life. Okay. As I mentioned, life always has a way of revealing the unexpected. So when the unexpected comes, just be prepared to course correct. There's never a set it and forget it with health. There's so many different obstacles and parameters that happen, and you change. You get older. Maybe when you started, you weren't a mom, then you became pregnant and now you're a mother. So then all these other aspects come into your daily life in terms of your priorities and time. So when pre-motherhood, I had all the time in the world, even though it didn't seem like it, right? And then after becoming a mom, I'm like, wow, I had a whole heck of a lot of time, but now this is where I'm at. So with this limited time that I do have, how do I do the things necessary for me to stay in alignment? And it's kind of like a constant tweak sometimes. Maybe this week you got it, next week you fall off, but you get back on next week. Maybe the way that you went about it this week doesn't work. Let's tweak it so it'll work for me the following week. But it's always depending on the time in your life, the season of your life. There's always different things that come up that's going to change your daily life. It's going to change the time and freedom and flexibility that you have within each day. So just remember, you never really arrive. So if you move in with that mindset, the chances of you reaching your health goals and sustaining it will significantly improve. Okay. So the second tip in how to avoid health sabotage is to understand that new habits need to be developed, right? So what you have done has gotten you this far. And if it's a benefit, then you should be where you're at. If it's a detriment, it's time to course correct. But for the most part, when you're striving to reach your health goals, it's going to be necessary to do some new things. It may not be easy. It may not be convenient, but it's necessary. So if you're on your own or if you're working with a health practitioner, once you know what's going on with your health, what imbalances you have, and you have your plan of action, generally that plan of action is going to require some changes, some habits to be developed. And habits are just simple little actions done consistently, and then it turns into a lifestyle. You have to put some skin in the game, right? You have to put some work in to develop those habits. And in the beginning, it's not probably going to be easy. If healthy habits were easy in this world and reality that we live in, everyone would be healthy. But unfortunately, this world isn't set up that way. So you have to kind of be, as we call our tribe, health warriors. You have to be willing to fight that battle, because just how the world is, whether you travel a lot for work, everywhere you look, it's more of unhealthy choices than healthier choices. And generally, when you're on your path to improving your health, a lot of times the things that you need is not readily available, and you have to plan ahead or really have a plan so that you can succeed. And it's going to be pretty much an uphill battle until once you consistently put that work in, those daily actions, they become easier. They become positive habits. It'll turn into things that you need to do because you know it's going to feed you. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help you perform better in your life as a mom, in your career, in your business, just all around. When you feel better, you're going to do better. And so establishing these habits, it may not be easy. It's not going to be convenient, but it's so worth it and it's so necessary. And once you build up that muscle and it becomes something that you need to do, that's definitely a win-win, right? All around. The third tip is, on the flip side, some old habits are going to have to die. So those things that are not serving you, those things that got you maybe to where you're at, they may have to go away either for an extended period of time and sometimes forever. And I think for a lot of people, this is the toughest part of having some habits that they're comforting. They have been that blanket that you need during those rough moments in your life. And generally, a lot of times it's food, or sometimes it's lifestyle habits like lack of sleep. And it's kind of this is how I have to do it. And when you realize sleep is one of the most important things that you need to rebalance your body, you can't supplement sleep. You can't hack not getting sleep. You need to get some rest. And a lot of us are living off of limited sleep. And when you realize that I can't continue to neglect my sleep and reach my health goals or avoid health challenges as I get older, you'll make the necessary adjustments. A lot of our clients, I laugh with them because they'll be on their path. They're killing it. They're going through the phases of their programs. They are getting compliments. They are living it up. I mean, that's one of the most beneficial parts of our wellness, of our business and of the work that we do, is seeing the transformation within people. And it's not just physically, it's mentally, it's emotionally. It's almost like a new leash on life for some of our clients. You just see it within them, and it just fills my heart with so much joy to see that. And then some people will say, okay, well, when can I have bagels? Or when can I have such and such? And because I completely understand, because when you're out in the world, you function and socially, going to events, you're with your family, and you want to indulge. And for some people, if you're fully ready, and you really have to be honest with yourself, you really have to be honest with yourself. Like, if I eat this, is it going to open the floodgates, or is it going to, or I'm going to be able to just to have the self-discipline and go back? And I think that's the question that, most people need to have with yourself. Like, some things you have to treat as if you're an addict. And as an addict, you're always an addict in a sense that you always have to be honest with yourself, and you have to take it day by day to avoid the thing that you're addicted to, right? For myself, sugar in my past has always been my drug, right? Sugar is a drug. Processed white sugar is a drug. I still love sweet things. At this point, I can probably consume something that has sugar. I don't want, like, I'll do more of a natural sugar, but I don't want a Snickers bar. Like, it's been eons, 15 years maybe, since I've had one. But I know for me, you have to know your limitations. I wouldn't want to because of the detrimental effects, but I know myself. And you have to know, okay, I want to eat desserts, but I'm going to eat it when it's prepared a certain way. I'm going to do more of a healthier dessert. I've made a lot of my own desserts. I make sure to put a lot of desserts in our membership community, in our member portal, because I understand the journey. I've been there where I couldn't imagine a day without sugar. So I know myself. So I know that I have to make my own desserts or get desserts that have healthier ingredients. So it's important to be honest with yourself and just really think about it. Like, is that piece of food worth all the work that I put in? If I eat this piece of food, is it going to throw me completely off? And is it worth that? Is that piece of food worth losing all the work that you did? And a lot of times when you're in that struggle, it's generally emotional eating. So then in order for me, I know for myself, you have to do those things to release that stress. And that's all self-care. Whether like finding those things that feed you, that is an outlet, so you don't use food as something that's going to comfort you, right? If you still have your cycle, as a woman, during certain times in a month, you're going to gravitate towards certain foods, and that's okay. But if you are going to gravitate towards something that's going to throw you completely off, then you have to find those things that, satisfy those needs and urges that you have, but that it's not a detriment, that doesn't completely throw you off, because then you're going to feel even worse. So you really have to be honest with yourself, and you have to arm yourself. Certain habits, you're going to have to avoid them for a while, and then you can go back. And some, you're going to have to stay away forever. And that's really an honest conversation that you're going to have with yourself. And it's also about learning some new things, because it's a whole new world out here. And like I mentioned, I make it a point to put it for our private health community. I make sure to put desserts in there from, I have a pound cake, brownies, things that are made with ingredients that are not going to throw you off, that if you're doing one of our programs, you still could have it. That's so important. And the final tip to help you to avoid health sabotage is the importance of accountability and support. You can certainly do this alone, but it's so much easier when you do things together. I kind of like to use an example of like boot camps and like CrossFit. And with the boot camp, it's generally a group of people working together through like a strenuous exercise. And the same thing with CrossFit, you generally kind of work in groups, and it's that tribe mentality. And when you're moving in one direction with people who have the same goals, it gives you that step, it gives you that oomph when you probably didn't even want to be there in the first place. That's the same thing with health. If you're in a group of people working, doing a health regimen, you're part of a Facebook health group, you're working directly with a health practitioner, and you're checking in consistently and having that person with you along the way, it really helps you stay on task. At our wellness center, when we implemented a stronger accountability and support system, we really saw the amount of our clients working with us, the amount of them really getting positive effects and reaching their health goals. We saw that number significantly increase because of that. You know, our office assistant, Olivia, will reach out to all the people doing programs and check in and make sure that if they have any questions or concerns, we address them. We make sure that they are, scheduling their follow-up appointments, staying on task. And then we have our check-ins where they come in and sit with Jamal once a month to make sure that you're on task, whether you come in the office or you do it virtually. And we find that by implementing that, we can really help people stay the course. We can help people that are struggling, because if we didn't do that, they probably would have given up. And we've seen people who were struggling stay the course, no matter how many times they stumbled, to eventually reach their health goals. And that accountability and support, when you use it, is so important. Definitely, we want to hear from you during the good times, because we definitely love to hear that. But the most important part is when you're struggling. When you're struggling to do what you need to do, that's when that accountability and support system really comes into play. When you're doing like a boot camp and someone calls and say, hey, we didn't see you last week, or we haven't seen you for the past 2 weeks. And then if someone says, and they have their reasons, and you say, well, make sure you come next week. And they come, you help them to get back on track. And the same thing is true in health. Like, you want someone looking out for you. Well, like I said, whether it's a group, one-on-one, your mate, your partner, your husband, or your spouse, when you have someone moving in the same direction with you, it just makes the journey so much, I don't want to just necessarily say easier, but it definitely is effective in helping you to reach your health goals. Okay. But you have to utilize it. We generally could tell when people who are working with us, if they're starting to falter, and we really try to make an effort to reach out to them. But when they start avoiding the calls from Olivia, that's when we generally know, okay, let's troubleshoot and really reach them and have them come in to get them back on track. And we always tell our clients, we're not here to judge. We're here to help. That's why we're here. It's not just in the good times when you're killing it, but most importantly, when you're stumbling, when you were doing good and you went away on vacation, you fell completely off. We're not here to make you feel bad. We're here to say, okay, let's get you back on track. Let's figure out some steps that you can implement. That's why we're here. And that's why an accountability and support system is so crucial to helping you to avoid health sabotage. Okay. So those are the 4 tips to help you to avoid health sabotage. And before I go, I just want to share a line from one of Jamal's songs. If you are not aware, Jamal was an artist, years ago when we first started dating, and he's performed and written songs, and it's still a passion of his outside of health. And one of his lines was, good health should not be a privilege. It should be a birthright. I feel that that's so true, and one of the many reasons why we do the work that we do. And we all deserve to feel and look our best. And having the proper mindset and doing the work to get our mindset right and have it in the right alignment is crucial to meeting and sustaining your health goals. Okay. We believe in you. We know you can do it. Really work on our mindset. Implement these 4 tips to help you avoid health sabotage. Stay in the game, right? There's no such thing as failing, only when you quit. So no matter how many times you fall off, just get back up and keep moving forward. You can reach your health goals. It may seem impossible at times. It may seem difficult, but you deserve to feel and look your best. You certainly can do it, and we're rooting for you. Okay, so thank you for listening to this week's episode. To access the show notes pages, just go to lifestrengthandhealth.com/109. There you can access this week's episode. I'll also put a link for that episode on the Dorito effect, talking about food additives, food flavoring, and MSG. So by going to the show notes pages, you can learn more about what we do and the services we offer at our wellness center, Life, Strength, and Health. Okay, so thank you for listening. Stay tuned for next week's episode. And until next time, live healthier.